There was once a young boy named Aaron who lived in a quiet village surrounded by mountains and wide open meadows. Every morning, before the sun fully rose, Aaron walked to the river with two large wooden buckets. One was meant for carrying water. The other he carried simply out of habit. It had been his father's bucket, and even though it was cracked and heavy, Aaron brought it with him everywhere. One day, as he struggled to lift the buckets onto his shoulders,
Aaron whispered to himself, "Why does life feel so heavy?
"Why am I always tired? And why can't I learn anything new?
My mind feels full."
But full of things I don't even want." He sighed deeply as he walked toward the river. At the riverbank, he dipped the good bucket into the cool water.
Filling it completely.
But as usual, he also dipped the cracked bucket. Water leaked through its sides.
Half of it spilled before he even lifted it.
Still, Aaron carried both. As he walked back toward the village, the weight of the buckets grew heavier.
Memories, expectations, other people's opinions, regrets.
That evening, when he returned home, he found his neighbor, an old man named Sadeo, sitting outside. Sadeo was respected in the village. He was calm, wise, and always carried a peaceful smile. He watched Aaron struggle with the buckets and said gently, "Why do you carry a broken bucket, my boy?" Aaron shrugged.
"It belonged to my father. He told me to always carry it. And I don't know."
"I've carried it so long it feels wrong to leave it behind." Sadeo nodded thoughtfully.
"And how does it feel to carry it?"
Aaron hesitated, then said, "Heavy, tiring."
"And pointless."
The old man smiled softly. "Then tomorrow meet me at the river."
At sunrise.
The next morning, Aaron arrived at the river. Sadeo was already there, standing still, watching the water flow. Without turning, Sadeo said, "Do you know why water is so calm, Aaron? It is because water never tries to hold on to anything. It lets everything pass."
Aaron stayed quiet.
Sadeo pointed at the cracked bucket.
"That bucket is your mind."
Aaron frowned. "My mind?" "Yes," Sadeo continued. "Your mind is full, Kami, but not with useful things. It is full of worries, regrets, fears, and rules someone else gave you long ago. You cannot fill a full bucket, and you cannot learn with a full mind." He lifted the cracked bucket and let the remaining water drain into the river.
"Let go, Aaron. Empty what is no longer needed." Aaron stared at the cracked bucket.
For the first time, he asked himself, "Why do I hold on to things that drain me?" He remembered the voice of his father saying, "Always carry this bucket. Someday it will help you." But his father had passed away many years ago, and the bucket had never helped him.
It only slowed him down.
Aaron looked at the old man.
"How do I let go?" Sadeo smiled.
Letting go is not something you do once. It is something you do every day, a little at a time. He picked up a small stone and handed it to Aaron. "What is this?"
Aaron asked.
"A worry," Sadeo replied. "Now throw it into the river." Aaron tossed the stone. It disappeared beneath the water with a soft splash. "Now," Sadeo continued, "throw one regret." Aaron picked up another small stone, then one more, representing fear, one more, representing guilt, one more, representing expectations he never chose. With each stone he threw, his heart felt lighter. After a long silence, Sadeo said calmly, "Aaron, life becomes heavy not because you carry too much, but because you carry the wrong things." He continued, "You want to learn new skills, but your mind is filled with old beliefs. You want confidence, but your heart holds too much doubt. You want peace, but you never release your anger."
Aaron felt a deep shift within himself.
He asked softly, "If I empty my mind, what will fill it?" Sadeo smiled warmly. "Whatever you choose." The next day, Aaron made a bold decision. He left the cracked bucket at home. He walked to the river with only one bucket, the one that worked. The path felt lighter. His shoulders felt lighter. His breathing felt lighter. For the first time in years, he felt free. He noticed the sound of birds, the smell of morning air, the warmth of the rising sun. He had passed this path every day, but he never saw it until now. At the river, he filled the good bucket, then sat beside the water. He closed his eyes and whispered, "Today, I choose what fills my mind." In the weeks that followed, Arin learned faster. He became calmer. He became more aware of his thoughts. He began to question beliefs he once obeyed without thinking. He stopped comparing himself to others. Whenever he felt stressed, he returned to the river and imagined emptying his mind of unnecessary weight. He realized something powerful. Letting go is not losing. Letting go is choosing peace.